Yo, how you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm good.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
Oh, you're nervous? Well, don't be nervous.
Yeah, I'll try not to be.
uh, oh, how do I pronounce your name, by the way?
Ali, Ali.
Ali? Okay.
Yeah. And your name?
I just go by Bones.
I'll just call you Bones then. Sounds good. All right.
Okay. So I know you were mostly just looking to talk about stuff today. Was there anywhere you wanted to get started, or I could just start going through what you listed in the goals?
You can start
Okay.
wherever from where I listed.
So I actually have a video where I talk about efficient VOD analysis. So that's a good place you can start. But just to like dive into that a little, I think it's really important when you're doing VOD analysis to like have some sort of goal. So if you're so there's like two main ways you can analyze. I think the first
Okay.
would be to analyze your own gameplay to like identify problem areas or things you need to stop doing, such as like the bad habits, which you said you had some bad habits.
Yeah.
Um, and then once you have that, you also need to do like analysis of top players. So that way, when you identify a habit that's like sort of holding you back, you can replace it with something more productive. So
Okay.
like just a simple example, like if you always do tech in place and then spot dodge versus someone, like that would be a bad habit. And then if you analyze the top player, you could see like, oh, when this player does the tech in place in the same situation, they do dash back instead. So just look,
Okay.
that's like a really simple example, but that'll help you progress way faster because you're able to take um, take things that top players have already decided is good.
Got you.
So you don't want to be like reinventing the wheel because that'll just slow you down.
All right. Sorry, I was just writing it down.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm also recording this. If
Sorry.
that's
Yeah.
if you'd
No, no.
rather
Cool.
not, it's
Yeah, I
up to
don't
you.
mind. I don't mind. Yeah, I
Okay.
was just writing it down.
Yeah, sure.
I'm good.
And then as far as the main things you need to do to improve, uh, it's really important that you have like so another way I view improvement is like you want to have the tools to succeed in any individual game. So on a fundamental level, that includes stuff like tech skill, or like being able to do certain techniques. And it doesn't even have to
Hmm.
be complicated techniques. Like most of them are honestly pretty simple. But something like a lead shot back air. Do you main Falco?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
From the
like as
beginning, I enjoy that character a lot. So.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So like as Falco, if you can't do a lead shot back air in a way that is like however you want, if you can't control how you're doing that motion, then you're gonna obviously struggle to edge guard people.
Yeah.
So identifying what tools are really important and make sure you're practicing those. That'll help you improve as well. And then when you're actually like on stage fighting an opponent, you generally want to view at least when you're first starting out, but even to like a pretty high level, you want to view situations as isolated situations. So like maybe the opponent's on the side plat and you're right below them underneath the side plat.
Hmm.
That could be like one concrete situation, and you want to if you have like a set game plan, like you don't have to do the same thing every time, but you should know like uh, 2 to 3 mix-ups that are good in that situation, and that way when you're in game you don't have to like think about what to do necessarily. You just sort of instinctively pick an option that you've already practiced and like planned beforehand.
So what would be like a good example of what to do in that situation? Like let's just say you have a fox on top of you on the side platform and you're
Mm-hmm.
right under him.
So the
What's
first
like a
thing
good
you
example?
would you would have to consider percents, but for
Hmm.
this one, it's a little less ambiguous because like you are really just prioritizing getting out of their threat range. So like if you're directly below Fox and he's on the side plat, that's it's a potentially risky scenario. So like if you're at 150%, something like trying to jump up and shine him wouldn't be a very viable option. But
Yeah.
if you're at 0%, then I'd say, well, it's a good gamble to go for the jump shine because if Fox gets hit by that, then they potentially die. So it would depend on like percent ranges and the exact spacing.
Hmm. So you're
Um,
saying, just so I get this straight, you're
mhm.
saying like the lower the threat level, the more you're able to make like a commitment like that. Is what
I
you're
wouldn't
saying?
think of it as like either one being more or less of a commitment because um, so like if the fox is on the side plat and you're directly below them,
Hmm.
you're within what I would consider an unreactable range. So like the fox could just drop down and back air,
Yeah.
or the fox could full hop away, and you have no
Yeah.
way of knowing or reacting.
And
So
if I'm
you're
on
playing a
that, I'm
very
screwed.
hard
Backers
hard
me.
set RPS scenario.
Got you. All
Um,
right.
so you definitely want to identify situations where like you want to understand whether you have time to react to an opponent doing a certain option or if you're in unreactable range and you have to just sort of make a prediction.
All right.
And then as far as like risk levels, you do want to consider risk level as well as like reward. So risk reward is really huge in melee, especially as Falco, because Falco gets comboed so hard. A lot of what he does is going to be risky.
Yep.
So something like getting dash dance grabbed by Marth because you went for a shuffled nair. Well, if the nair isn't like going to lead to a kill, and his dash dance grab that counters the nair will
No
lead to a
point going
kill.
for that nair then, right?
Sorry.
There's no point then going for that nair
Well,
if it's not
there
really
is
anything.
still some point to going for the nair because you can't get to a point where you say, okay, I'm just never going to do anything that has risk. But you need to understand the balance. So maybe it's like 10% of the time you do the nair and 90% of the time you don't do the nair. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? Like
Yeah.
for every mix-up, there's some theoretical equilibrium.
Yeah. Like maybe he dashes in, overcommits, and I catch him with a nair or something.
Right, exactly. Because if you never do the nair in, and let's say you always just dash dance in front of him, well then the Marth would no longer be dashing back because the players you're going to be playing against are actually going to be like adapting. At least
Hmm.
at a certain point, players will start adapting to you.
Hmm.
So melee is a lot about maintaining that balance of like being unpredictable, but not doing things that are risky. At least not without high reward. So
Yeah.
that's why I mentioned the risk reward when considering like should I go for this jump shine on Fox. So versus Fox and Falco specifically, I talk to a lot of students about like how to use raw shines in neutral because if you can just like jump and shine the opponent, you're going to get a huge combo. But it's also fairly low risk to go for shines like that because you can jump cancel shine and just like double jump away or wave land away.
Okay.
Um,
So what did
yeah,
you? I missed what you said. Like you said, jump in and shine.
yeah,
Like in what way? Like how would you? What do you mean? Like you literally just like short hop in and shine?
yeah, exactly.
All right.
So
Like
I
either
can
or
show
like
you
Falco.
an example if you want.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask like for example with Falco, like you could just laser in and shine. Is that another example?
Sorry, which matchup did you say?
Like Falco into Fox, and you're approaching the Fox. You could laser in and shine, is what you're saying. That's another thing you could do.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's
yeah, for sure.
relatively low risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you
like
could. Go on.
the laser's an interesting part about the interesting part about maining Falco is his laser because like the laser is pretty high risk on the startup. So
Mhm.
like it has a lot of startup lag. And if you get called out for it, you're just like in the air, completely vulnerable. But if you have the room to get the laser out, well, then it's very safe. So it's actually very important to know like, can I safely shoot a laser here? And if not, then you have to evaluate is the opponent likely to stuff my laser? Because it's risky for the opponent as well. So a lot of situations as Falco can be boiled down to laser mix-ups. So if you just focused only on laser mix-ups for a while, you could still improve a ton just by looking at those. So just
All right.
like, should I have shot a laser there, or should I have attacked, or should I have dash danced? or thrown out an aerial to like protect myself. All that stuff will depend on like the opponent's spacing and how you're spacing and how they've been conditioned.
All right.
So yeah.
I have another question.
Hmm.
So this is gonna go a little bit off topic,
That's fine.
but it's comes to like how I can like improve in terms of like tech skill and like practicing
Hmm.
because like I don't want to get too off topic, but like I play sports, so I treat melee like sports, where if
Yeah,
I
I think
just
that's a good
repeat something,
approach. I played a lot of sports growing up, so
if I repeat repetition, and I'll get better. But I've been very frustrated because I've been practicing for a couple. Like I started playing melee like 2 months ago, and I've been practicing for a while, and I don't know if my practice routine is as good as it needs to be, or like I would rather ask you like what would you like scale like from importance in tech skill playing Falco to like least important things to work on, like the most
yeah.
basic
So
thing,
the
and then
most important is going to be
or even as
laser,
any
dash
character,
chance, wave
any
dash.
character,
Oh, sorry, what?
like even as any character, like L canceling and all that basic stuff,
Yeah, I
just
mean
like
it's the same for most characters.
yeah,
Laser, Falco does have laser and wave shine and waveland, like
hmm
shine waveland. Uh, that's uniquely important to Falco, but like dash chancing, um, being able to do shuffled aerials and like L cancel at the correct time and do late aerials on shield. Let me think. Is there anything big that I'm just forgetting? Being able to sweet spot recoveries, ledge hop stuff, ledge options. That's pretty much all of it though. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like not that important, like double shining. I mean, I think double
hmm
shining is important and it's worth learning, but I also think it's not that important when you're first starting out. Like you
hmm
could play your whole first year of melee and not double shine a single time, and it would probably only help your results because you'd be focusing on other stuff that's more important.
hmm
And then there's stuff like shine grab, which I think is not too difficult. So, but you could add that
yeah.
in there.
What would be an efficient practice routine that I can like consistently do, or you don't have one? Because I know some pro players, from what I've seen, like they don't really have a practice routine.
Yeah, I definitely agree with most top players in that it doesn't make sense to have like a set routine.
Hmm
Not only because I feel like it's difficult to learn so like you'll see some people have charts of like 1 minute wave dash, 1 minute dash dance, stuff like that,
hmm
and I think that's just not feasible to learn that way. Um, one sec, let me bring up this podcast. So I actually heard an amazing podcast that Ginger recommended, and I'll
Yeah, I like
link that
Ginger
to you.
stuff.
Oh, sorry, what?
I like Ginger stuff. He makes good videos.
Yeah. So he was listening to this Andrew Huberman, How to Learn Skills Faster,
Hmm
and you can like listen to that on your own for like the full explanation. But essentially, it boils down to uh, the most important thing is just getting in your repetitions and just failing as many times because every time you mess something up, your brain is going to like slightly adjust, slightly adjust, slightly adjust. Um, and then like if you do enough repetitions, then it starts to become smooth. So I think if you wanted to like get better wave dashes, just as a simple example, I'd say spend like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 if you can like if you can if you don't get bored very easily,
hmm
and just really hammering in that repetition. Focusing as much as you can also helps. So you want to be like focused on the thing. You don't want to be. I mean, I do sometimes practice tech skill while like listening to a show on the side. But if you're trying to learn a new habit, it really helps to be able to specifically focus on it.
Mm.
And then I would learn that way. And also, like as you're doing it, so it's mostly going to be subconscious improvements, but you also should have some conscious level awareness of like, let's say you're trying to do a wave shine backwards, and you notice you keep turning around in the shine and it's messing you up. Like you're not getting the jump cancel because you're turning around by accident.
Yeah.
So like if you notice that sort of pattern of mistakes, then you want to sit down and think like, okay, wait, what am I doing wrong, and what do I need to change? So for that, it would be, okay, I need to make sure I'm jumping before I press back to wave dash, because that's what's causing me to turn around. So being able to identify what's going wrong in your tech skill sequence and then determining what the solution is a really good way of improving tech skill quickly.
All right. And kind of just not worry about like, oh, this is taking forever, or like just kind of just keep going at it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like worried about whether you're making progress or not, tech skill is actually like one of the easier ones to track. So you can do just like so maybe you practice wave dashing for like 10 minutes, right? And then this is something I would do. I'd say, okay, I'm not gonna stop until I can get 10 in a row, right? So you go for like 10 clean wave dashes in a row, and then see how long that takes. And then the
Mhm.
next day you practice wave dashes. You can go, okay, let me see how quickly I can get 10 in a row this time. And maybe you get it a little quicker. Or you could just say, okay, I'm going to do 10 no matter what, and just see how many out of 10 do I get. So, okay, I got 3 out of 10 that were like actually good looking. And then the next day you get 5 out of 10. Next day you get 7 out of 10. So you can track your progress that way by like actually just counting.
All right. Another question I have when it comes to practicing is like how do I know like when to when to or how much time I should dedicate to isolating certain things. So let me explain that. Like for example, how do I know how much time I should be spending on wave dashing? And then
Mm-hmm.
after I'm done with my wave dashing session, maybe it was like 15 minutes, right?
Right.
Then I work on L canceling for another 15 minutes, and then like that's already like 30 minutes of my day gone,
Right.
and I only worked on two really important things. But I'm not sure if I should be working on like other things like wave shine or like wave landing and stuff like that. You
Yeah, I
know what I
mean,
mean?
obviously, like the more you can work on, the faster you'll improve. But I'd
Hmm.
say even if you don't want to make it feel like you're not making progress just because you're only focusing on one thing. Just because I think focusing on one thing uh, is like the faster way to improve. So
Yeah,
like because when you do it in one session, or so like if you have 15 minutes all mashed together of wave dash practice, I think you can make those adjustments because you're like, oh, I see what I'm doing wrong, see what I'm doing wrong, and then you
yeah,
keep adjusting and adjusting. Whereas I think if you do 1 minute of wave dash practice, you like maybe kind of have a sense of what you're doing wrong, but then the next day you don't really remember, and you're
mm,
not warmed up for doing it. So
that
you
makes
really want to
sense.
like push the ceiling upwards of like how good you can get in one day, and the next day you will like dip back down, so you'll be like a little worse than you were at your peak the previous day, but you'll improve faster that way. And then
Just
as
keep
far as
going at
like
it.
actually deciding what to pick, you really just have to evaluate like what is most important. So I'd say like and it also depends on like where you're at. So if your wave dashes are the best but they're like somewhat okay, you might want to just say, okay, I'm not going to worry about my wave dashes. I think
Yeah, and keep
focusing on
everything at an
like,
even level. Is that what you're
sorry.
saying? Keep everything at an even level.
Yeah, I think it's best to keep everything at an even level. So I recommend this for like learning matchups too. I try to always focus on my worst matchup. Like I would never practice my best matchup because then it's like, well, I'm just creating this further and further gap. And then I also wouldn't recommend. So yeah, I would just pick whatever I feel least comfortable with, and make sure I'm addressing that.
Hmm.
And that way I can like better judge where I'm actually at in terms of my skill level. And then the only like caveat to that is if you get down to something where it's like, okay, well, I'm not good at double shining, but then you also have to weigh the importance of the technique. So dash dance, wave dash, and wave shine are all like fairly important. They're all like 9 out of 10 in terms of importance. Whereas double shine, I'd say, is like a 2 or 3 out of 10. So it's
Yeah.
even if your double shines are good, or aren't good, I would say it's not worth it to invest too much time into those.
Hmm. So now for one more thing on practicing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I know. what I need to work on now. I know how much time I need to spend on it and be repetitious of it. But like, for example, I'm doing like I'm working on L canceling,
Right.
and the timing obviously is different when you hit someone, and then different when you hit someone on a shield, right?
Yes.
So when I'm working on that, I usually go into the I forgot what it's called. It's called
Uncle
the
Punch or
yeah, Uncle Punch.
20XX.
The Uncle Punch, but it's not the Patreon one. It's the version two, like the.
That's fine. That's what I have.
All right. Uh, and I just go into out cancel training, and I just kind of just go ham at the CPU. But after, always right after I'm done
Oh
training
wait, what
for
do you mean
whatever,
by you go ham at the CPU? Is
like
this just like warming up your hands?
no, it's like the L cancel. You know the L, when you go
Oh, okay.
to,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The invincible CPU. Gotcha.
yeah. So I go to that, and I just kind of work on like shuffles, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it kind of feels like I'm just like not getting better because the CPU is just standing still, and obviously when you hit someone, they're supposed to move a little bit. But when I'm hitting the CPU just to work on the timing, I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm getting better. Like, because in the game, I don't apply it, no matter
Okay.
how much practice I put into it.
Can you tell what the difference is between your practice and the game? Like,
Can you elaborate more on that?
so you're saying that when you do the shuffled aerial in Uncle Punch, you feel like you're doing it okay, but then
Yeah.
you go into a game and it feels different somehow.
Yep.
So, have you gone through and like looked frame by frame to see what's different?
Well, what I've noticed already is, for example, I'll just practice just short hop, maybe short hop nair, and then like fast fall L cancel, right? Like right in front of that CPU.
Right.
But in the game, when am I really doing that?
So
Like
you're
I'm
saying the
maybe
opponent
approaching
usually
it in
isn't
there.
right in front of you.
Yeah, and the opponent is not gonna just be standing in the middle of the stage or wherever I place him. So like they're gonna be moving.
Right.
So I won't sometimes maybe I'll expect to not hit him or expect to hit him, and it'll always screw up my L cancel.
Okay. So it sounds like you're actually doing the aerial itself incorrectly. Here, I actually have this pulled up already because I had a feeling this was going to be the problem. So it's very common that players do what you're saying, where they do the aerial and then they go for the fastball after it connects. But what you actually want to do most of the
Wait,
time,
sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? I just want to make sure I
so
understand it.
most players
Okay.
do. Here, I'll type it just so it's
Yeah.
explicit. So most players do short hop,
Okay.
aerial, aerial hits, and then they do fastball.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So
That no,
what you
that
want
is
to
what
do
I do. I know it is.
instead, short hop, start the aerial. So this is like right at the peak of your jump
Mhm.
because you can't fastball until after you reach the peak of your jump. So that's like the
Yep.
limiting factor. And then we want
Mhm.
to start the fastball. And then the aerial will hit after we're already fast falling. So that way, whether you hit the opponent or not, it will never affect your L cancel timing.
Mm.
So because like what happens a lot is people when they hit the opponent at a certain timing, they like get stuck in hit lag and can't do the fast fall input. I don't
Yeah,
know
that
if
happens
you
a lot. That
identified.
happens a lot when I nair.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. And when I when I down air early, like into my jump, my short hop, if I down air early, like I won't fastball.
Yeah, so
That
you
tends to
you
happen a
really
lot.
just want to practice doing those aerial. So like practice starting the aerial near the peak of your jump, and
Hmm.
then fast falling before the hitbox connects. So
Okay.
for a nair, that's 3 frames. So like you're gonna hit A, and then you have. Um, I actually don't know if you can fast fall on the same frame it connects. I want to say you can. So I think it's 3 frames, but it's at least 2 frames for you to fast fall after you start the nair. So you just want to hit A and then down right after.
Hmm.
And then for down air and like the other aerials, it's easier because you can use the C stick.
Yeah.
So you can actually just do them at the same time. So it's a little wider of a window for those. So
And
if
that's
you
another thing
imagine
that's
like,
messing up my timing. Sorry, I cut you off, but
oh,
that's
well,
another
no, that's
thing.
fine. What were you gonna say?
And that's another thing that messes up my timing. I think I'm used to like using the C stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I use like Nair or something, it kind of like the timing's a little different
Yeah.
because I'm clicking a button rather than just like at the same time fast fall, I'm hitting the C stick, or I C stick then fast fall. You know what I mean? It's a
Right.
little
No, I know
different.
exactly what you mean. Um, and that is like the hard part about using Nair is that you can't fast fall at the same time. Whereas
Yeah.
like if you, as long as you wait till the peak of your jump, if you just press down on both sticks, you'll just get a fast fall down air. Because
Yeah.
like you'll input the fast fall, and then the down air will start on the same frame, and then by the time the down air actually comes out and hits the opponent, or if it whiffs, like either way, you're falling towards the ground and you can L cancel.
Mhm.
Um, because like melee actually has a mechanic where it accounts for hit lag. So even if you L cancel, so if you L cancel right before you land and it hits an opponent, the game will actually delay the input during the hit lag. So like so the L cancel window is for 7 frames, right?
Yeah.
But if there's 5 frames of hit lag, it'll actually extend to a 12 frame window. So like it kind of just freezes time, and your L
Yeah.
cancel window doesn't decrease.
Yeah. I noticed that, especially when you hit someone, there's like a difference, like in how fast you
Yeah.
fast fall.
So what you really want to do is just time it for a whiff, and then if it hits, the game will account for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think of it
but
like that.
that's only if you're doing it like somewhat close to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. When do you like if you're gonna down air, right, approaching,
Mm-hmm.
when do you know when to down air, early or late? You know what I'm saying?
It
Like what
it
when you
depends on a lot of stuff.
like
So,
what like shield, if they shield or
well,
something,
are
and
you
you
talking
want
about in neutral or versus shield pressure?
yeah, like let's actually forget what I just said. Let's talk about like real quick about neutral. Like what should I be looking for when I'm playing Falco? Like what's the main thing? Like how should I be approaching neutral,
So
especially against like
it
a
is going to
Marth?
vary a lot, but like a general rule you can go into is like you kind of want to. So Falco's a control based character, or at least that's how I think most players play him. So like you want to establish laser control if your opponent is giving you room. If the opponent isn't giving you room, or is at least threatening not giving you room, then you kind of have to play with like dash ants and like aerials, or you have to retreat. So sometimes it's worth it as Falco to give up stage, like retreat a little into, or even retreat all the way into the corner. But if you can retreat into the corner with a laser, that laser will let you fight your way back towards center stage.
Yeah.
So a
Okay.
lot of the important things in melee revolve around stage control and being in the center, because being in the corner not only limits your options, but it's way riskier for whoever's in the corner.
The majority of the time, Falco's looking to be in the middle because like you said he's a control.
Exactly.
Got you.
Um, so in a lot of matchups, you'll be using lasers to prevent your opponent from moving around freely. And what'll happen is it's something that's really common versus Marth, especially. So if you laser Marth, they're looking for that dash chance grab we talked about before, right?
Yeah.
So you laser Marth, he does a dash back looking for you to do an aerial after the laser. But if you just laser again, what happens is he'll give up like 5 feet of stage and then get hit by another laser. So
Yeah.
now he's given up stage and now you have room to like move forward.
I
Um,
actually noticed this. I saw this in I watched I think Mango versus Zane,
yeah,
and I noticed this. Mango does that a lot, where he'll just laser again when because he always expects Zane's to dash back,
yeah,
and
exactly.
that's where I learned that from. All right.
Um, no, that's you're spot on with that, and he even did it with Fox too. I don't know if you heard him in the interview after Summit, but he talked about how he feels like with Fox he can just threaten the opponent and then make the opponent retreat. But the way you do that as Falco is you use lasers to set up your threats. So
Yeah.
like when you do the laser, the opponent has to respect the fact that you could do an approaching dare. So they're going to like back up a little, and
And it's
you
all
can
about
corner
move
people
stuff.
that way. But then if someone decides they're going to like call out your second laser, then you have to be willing to like either dare them in the face for approaching you or like zone with an up tilt, or
Hmm.
you have to retreat yourself, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So there's this balance back and forth of like whether you're going to move in or not, and this is all sort of based on like basic fighting game fundamentals.
Yeah, like adapting to what your opponent does and stuff.
What sport did you play? Just out of
Basketball.
curiosity.
Basketball.
Okay, I should have guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'd be
I
like
play it
in.
now at a collegiate level, so it's
Oh,
like my
really? That's sick.
yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love basketball, but that's why I think I fell in love with melee. It's similar with like the process of getting better. It's really difficult, and I like that learning curve.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like just to give a basketball analogy, it would be like imagine a defender is like playing really close up on you.
Uh-huh.
That makes it easier to like blow right past him and get a layup, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if he's giving you more room, you would sort of encroach on his space more. You'd say, okay, well if you're gonna let me move all the way into the paint, I'm just gonna move further and further in, and then I
Yep.
can always retreat back to the 3 point line and shoot from there.
And if
So
he always expects you to drive on him every single time, he's gonna give you more space.
exactly,
Vice versa.
exactly.
If he expects you to shoot every time, he's not gonna give you as much space, and then you could blow by him.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of the same like spacing games in tons of sports. Like this is
Mhm.
just something that's um, I guess it's
Pretty
just a
fascinating.
combination of like positioning and then also reaction time, right? So like if you could react instantaneously, these sort of spacing games don't really work because they would just like move at the same time as you. But
Hmm.
because there's that split second of reaction, that's like how you want to abuse the opponent's positioning. So the same
Nice.
way you might like fake going left versus someone and then you go right. In melee, you would like approach and then retreat.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever like if you know anything about like boxing or whatever, that's like an even more direct comparison where like you're keeping your head close so they think they can hit you, then you pull back and right as they swing and then you counterpunch. So it's very similar to both of those.
It's kind of interesting to think about, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's so awesome how there's so many comparisons. Like
Yeah.
there are sports I like don't know much about, but I feel like I can understand them through the lens of melee.
Yeah. It's like chess. Everything is chess.
Yeah, chess is actually it's so crazy that chess is even somewhat similar, but it is.
Yeah. That's nice. All right. So wrap it up. What I need to mainly focus on now, I think, is well, first before anything, I need to like perfect my tech skill because
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
worry
think
about perfecting it. Just cut you off
increasing
a
it,
bit.
get better,
Right.
get better.
And,
Because I feel
and
like there's a
get
lot of
better at
stuff.
the like core thing. So I'll write them down just to be
Thanks.
clear. But go ahead.
I said I think because there's a lot of things like okay, I'm comparing it to basketball. Like if I get like the ball stolen from me twice in a game because I try to do like a weak crossover, in my head I'll be like okay, if I practice this more and my crossover is more like just efficient and consistent,
Mm-hmm.
then it wouldn't happen. And that's how I'm looking at my tech skill. Like if I could consistently get my L cancels, I wouldn't get like shield grab like a scrub like every single time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
So that's like the first thing I want to work on.
and it's sort of like the same way in terms of like viewing them as tools. So would you say like you view your crossover as a tool for a certain situation and to
Yes.
get a certain result, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, you would want to do a dash dance at a certain range for a certain purpose. You don't want to just mindlessly be doing things, and that'll be
Yeah.
really hard when you're first starting out. But
Yeah.
you can at
Especially when you're
least
not
like
like
do some
consistent.
stuff.
When you're not
Sorry, go
consistent
ahead.
with the tech skill. When you're not consistent, especially, it's really hard because I feel like a lot of times I know what I want to do. Like I know that I what I want to do and what like I read the opponent, but like my fingers just physically can't do them because I don't have the muscle memory to do that
Yeah.
like move. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I definitely know what you mean. It's kind of funny because like I didn't have anyone in my area when I was growing up and like playing melee, so I would just like watch videos of people playing or like watch combo videos, and then I would just practice on my own. So I had to practice tech skill for literally several years before I even got
Hmm.
to play someone.
Damn.
But like I remember my first tournament, people were saying like, "Wow, your tech's still so good. This is your first tournament," and I was just like, "Yeah, I mean, this is all I had." Um,
I get. That's how similar to me now. Like, but now thank God we have Slippy. Like that's
yeah,
it's a
Slippy's
blessing.
crazy. You
But
you
other
can
than
improve
that, like
so
I
much
don't.
faster these days.
Yeah, I don't really have anyone in my area. Even though I live in Jersey, it's like a smash area. Like, but like I know a lot. There's a lot of
Are you
locals
in
and
the
stuff.
New Jersey Discord?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not in any Discord for like
Okay, well, if
Smash.
you, I can link you to it if you want. It's
Yeah,
just like an open invite thing.
yeah.
Um,
I'd appreciate that.
yeah, there's actually Smash chords. Let me see. Where's New Jersey? Oh, let me finish writing these things out. Dash Dance Wavish, Shuffle. Um,
How long you been playing?
I found out about. I mean, I was playing casually since it came out in like '02.
Hmm.
But I found out about Smashboards and like advanced techniques in 2005, and then my
So you've been
first
playing for a while.
tournament was in 2010. So 11 years ago.
Damn,
Yeah,
you've been playing for a while. You're an OG.
I've been playing way too long.
But honestly, this game is fun. Like it's really like a game where usually when it comes to video games, like okay, I play. I don't know if you ever played League of Legends. I played that for a while.
Nah,
Yeah, don't play it.
I don't
Like
even play video games. I just
that's what
play
I'm saying.
Melee.
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say that. Like at this
Yeah,
point, like I don't even touch video games because I get so bored of them and they feel like such a waste of
I
time.
could probably get it into a shooter, um, but it's like anytime I have that I would want to put towards an
You just
FPS,
put
I
the
would just
melee.
rather play Melee.
Yep. That's how I feel with Miller right now. It's
Yeah.
like, man, like all my friends are like playing all these random games like COD and stuff, and I'm like, they're like, yo, you still playing Melee? I'm like, I mean, this game is fun, man. Like, I got my friend to buy a GameCube controller, so he's gonna get into it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's that.
if you guys ever want to do like a joint lesson, I'd be down. That would be sick.
That. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna recommend him to you. Like, and I would be
Awesome.
down to come too. Like, I'm definitely gonna have another lesson with you. I
Yeah,
learned
even if it was just
so
like
much.
me watching you guys and like saying, giving like pointers.
Yeah. You
I
seem
don't
like
know.
you like to help. You seem like you like to help, and you have a
I
lot of
do.
knowledge.
It's so
Yeah.
fun to help newer players. Like the melee community. I mean, it's less grassroots now, but it's still like pretty grassroots. But like back in the day, it used to be, you could literally like go up to the top players and just like talk to them because there just wasn't that many people, right? It'd be
Yeah.
like the biggest tournaments ever would have like 300 players, so it's like you could just go up to a top player. So I would like,
And they would answer your questions and stuff, right?
yeah, I would just like message Drug Fox randomly on Facebook and just be like, hey, I have this question, and he would just sit
And
and
they'll
explain
answer
it.
you.
Yeah.
Damn, it's crazy.
So I like to sort of like pay it forward because I had a lot of players help me out, even though I was just some random on Smashboards asking questions.
A lot of I realized a lot of people do like to help in this community, which is very surprising. I thought this was gonna be like another toxic community, because that's just how every game is nowadays.
Yeah, I
But
mean, there are some elements that are definitely toxic, but I think it's for the most part, people really love the game, so
mhm.
they really want. Oh, sorry, I linked the wrong thing. They
I
really
went,
want new players to like feel like they can actually get into it, especially because we know it's like hard.
yeah, I went to a local. I don't know if you're like you don't have to tell me, but I went to a local. It's in New Jersey. It's called Fusion, right?
Yeah, I know it.
Okay, I went to that, right? And it was my first. I went to this probably, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I was so excited. Like I was ready to go. I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna win. And dude, I got destroyed. Like even a game where I feel like I should have won, I still got destroyed. Like
That's
it just
awesome.
and like but surprisingly, the guy I versed, I don't remember his name, but he was like, oh yeah, man, like you got some good stuff going on, and he like four stocked me like 2 games in a row. Like he's like, no, you got some good stuff. Like you're gonna get better. I'm like, wow, these people are actually really nice. Like
Yeah, dude. Especially so like the online is like the only toxic part about Melee, honestly.
yeah.
Like some of the like Twitter drama and shit, but at the actual events, it's
Yeah.
kind of sucks because right now everyone's like wearing masks, so
Hmm.
it's not even the same right now. But like back before there were masks and shit, like you would always just be like talking and constantly. But now it's like kind of weird. At least it is at my local.
It seems
But I still try to like talk with my opponent after.
I really want to get to that level, man. Like it's like a, and it doesn't seem like out of reach too. Like when I got destroyed, like I went with my friend and he was just watching me. He's like, it's really like, oh, it's really like demotivating, like seeing yourself get like destroyed like that, right? And I'm like,
Yeah, for sure.
honestly, man, I told him like, honestly, man, it feels like so tangible. Like I don't feel like I'm out of reach. Like I feel like I can't get there. It just motivated me a lot. Like I really wanted to take it seriously after that.
That's exactly how I felt. I remember
Yeah.
my at my very first tournament, I played a player named Vist, who is like a really good Luigi player and has been for like many years. But
Mhm.
he wasn't even playing Luigi against me. He was using his secondaries, but he was playing top tiers. So then he switched to Luigi, and he was just like destroying me even harder with his Luigi. And I was like, oh my god, I'm losing to Luigi because I thought Luigi was like super bad back then or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just remember like being on that setup, and I'm just like simultaneously
Completely
embarrassed
oblivious.
and blown away.
Completely oblivious to the fact that he's like the number one Luigi at
Yeah,
the
he
time
was
or
literally
something.
like top three at the tournament.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, if you have any questions, like you need help improving, or like maybe you're trying to practice the shuffle we talked about, because I know
Hmm.
I wasn't able to like fully explain it. I pretty much just gave you the outline. But
Yeah.
if you read that article and don't really understand anything in it, you can just hit me up
All
and
right.
I'll try to clarify.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
And if
Means a lot.
you, I mean, I think you can just join that Discord, but
Yeah, I'm gonna join it right now. Sorry, I was cleaning something.
oh no, you're good. I was just saying, in case they like don't accept you right away, just let me know and I can contact someone to make sure you get invited.
Dope.
There's also a
I'm in.
Facebook
Yeah,
group if you use Facebook at all.
I do not,
Okay,
but
yeah, I mean, I've stopped using it, so.
yeah, I appreciate it though.
But
It
yeah, I
means a
think
lot.
the New Jersey scene's pretty dope. So they probably are active and like will have all their tournaments posted in there.
Hmm. Yeah, I drove this one. I drove like an hour and a half to get to Fusion. So,
Which area are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Bergen County. It's like north.
I just want to see.
Yep. It's like
Uh,
the north part of Jersey.
Wait, is that near New York?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. There's probably. I mean, I don't know if getting to New York is hard.
Parking in New York is hard as well.
So did you drive to Woodbridge Township? Is that where it was?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
And
think there
it
might be
was like
something
rush
up
hour.
near Clifton. It's been so long since I went to a New Jersey tournament because they just were canceled, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think there might be some that are hopefully closer.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is the only one, like the first result I got online. I literally had no idea. I looked on, I think it was Smash.gg, and this is the closest thing I got. So
Gotcha. Was this an? It was an in-person tournament, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and it was mostly Ultimate. Like there was just like on the side melee brackets, and I was like, oh, okay,
Gotcha.
yeah,
But yeah, if you hit up that Discord, they should be able to help you out.
cool, cool. Well, first I want to get better. I'm not going. I'm not wasting another $15.
No, I get you.
First, I gotta get better. I gotta get better first. I'm gonna come back a beast.
Yeah, definitely. You'll be surprised, especially if you have experience with other games. So like
Hmm.
the one thing that's weird is I think when you play sports, so I think most sports are sort of designed to be something you can naturally do tech skill in. So like I just feel like hand-eye coordination in something like basketball or baseball, it almost feels natural, right? Like we
Yeah,
literally evolved to throw objects. But melee's different because we didn't evolve to like have very precise thumb movements necessarily.
yeah.
So I think it might come a little less naturally to you, but with practice it'll definitely come.
I played Smash 4 a lot when I was younger, like, and I did actually go to tournaments for that. So I do have an idea of like Smash in general. And I've always watched Melee, always. Like even like
Hmm.
2012, like I went to Apex, I forgot which year, But I remember going with my mom, and she was just like, "Why are we even here?" And I'm
Oh
just like,
shit! I
"I'm in
probably
awe."
saw
Like,
you at like 10 years old then, because
I
I
was
went to all
so
the
young.
Apexes.
I was so young, man.
That's
But like,
funny
I
as
remember
fuck.
going there, and it was. I really did like Smash, especially when I was younger. Like, I used to bring my 3DS, like sometimes on like, car rides and play Smash 4. And I had a good grasp for it. I ended up going to tournaments and stuff, and my school tournament I would always win every year. But after a while, I stopped playing, and then I don't know. I think the Slippy era got me like. I remember just saying, "Oh, look, fuck it, let me just try Melee." And I used to play with a PS4 controller. I didn't have a GameCube controller.
Yeah, I think there's a
And
lot of
then,
people doing that, which is
and then out of nowhere, I
bad.
was like, "Yo, this is fun." And then I went on vacation, and I came back in like July, and then I bought a game controller ready to go. It was already at my house when I came back, so just went straight into it.
That's awesome. If you don't mind me
Man,
asking, how do you find out about my lessons?
I looked on MetaFly.
Okay, so you
I was
just
looking for coaching, and I looked for the cheapest one, and you're the only one that did Falco. So I was like, cool.
awesome. I
And you
actually
were
have
tomorrow. Like it had a quick lesson. Like I wanted to get one in either yesterday or today. So
yeah. Honestly, this is probably going to be the last 30-minute one I offer because I always go over, so I just feel
yeah,
dumb like doing it. It's like I'm not like a stickler for the money or anything, but
yeah.
I do
I
like
would put an
always go
hour.
over.
I'd put an hour. I think an hour is good for you. Like yeah, because you have really good input, and I feel like
Thanks.
you you know what you're talking about, and I can obviously tell. And you're friendly. You're cool. Like you don't come across as egotistical or anything.
I
So
appreciate that. I
yeah.
actually have my channel here if you want to look at like full blown lessons.
I was looking for your channel yesterday just to see. Like
Yeah,
couldn't find
I
it.
need to. The Medify doesn't work if you have like a generic channel name,
Hmm.
and I don't have enough subs to change my channel name yet. So I just like put it at the top of my Medify page, but it doesn't look obvious. It's
I
like
subscribe.
hard to find. Let me see. I don't even see it now.
I
Um,
subscribe to it. So just so you know.
oh yeah, it's like the generic link on my Medify. If you
Hmm.
need to find it again.
All right.
But yeah, you can look through some of those and at least get a sense of like what a regular lesson is like.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It sounds like you don't have like set game plans or anything yet, so that'll be like
Nah,
the
I'm
next
really new.
step. Well,
Yeah, I'm really
once
new.
you feel like you have like general movement stuff down, you'll want to transition into like learning matchups, and that'll make it easier to learn what you actually need to focus on next. Because like
Hmm.
when you're first starting out, you really have to just like learn to move and like be able to play the game.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like frozen sometimes.
Yeah,
You just
I
don't know what to
mean,
do.
I love practicing tech skills, so that's never been an issue for me.
Yeah, I got to work on it. And like the ledge stuff, not ledge stuff, platform stuff, like wave landing is so difficult for me. I don't know why, but
Yeah, well, with Falco, it's actually really hard to do like it's just a full hop waveland. Um, but
oof.
what's more important is being able to do the shine waveland.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that
always ends up funky.
I wouldn't even worry too much about the regular waveland. I mean, you can practice it doing a straight down waveland. That'll be easier. Because like if you go a frame or two too high,
Hmm.
as long as you're air dodging straight down, you'll still land fairly quickly. But if you
Hmm.
try to do an angled one, it looks really messy.
For like shine waveland, right?
For both, but especially for the waveland out of the full hop. Because when you do the shine, you're double jumping, and it's easier to get a smooth waveland.
Um, I don't know if you mind, but can you quickly just like show me how that's done, like in like
Yeah,
just
sure.
share your screen real quick? Because that is something I'm like I look it up on YouTube and I find nothing about it, and I'm really trying to figure out how to do it. Because every time I do it, it's super clunky, and I feel like I can extend my combos a lot more if I
Yeah, I
know how
really
to.
want to make like tutorials for this kind of stuff because
You
I feel like
should.
there aren't any good ones.
You really
Um,
should.
all right, did you want to just join my game, or I can screen share
Yeah,
to
yeah. I'll
you?
join your game. I'll join your game. I think that's better. I
Okay,
have it
my
open now.
code is Bone0.
Bones zero.
Yeah,
All right. Let's see. Is it just 1 0 or like 3 zeros?
just one. I got a custom code,
Oh, nice,
so I have the original Bones #0.
nice. All right. Mine is ASUI and then number 209.
Versus Falco. Ready? Go!
All right.
So you have like, if you do the waveland like this is the one that's harder. You can see even if I'm like 1 frame late, it's like not very smooth. You can hear the Falco go, ooh.
Yeah.
If I get it frame perfect, it doesn't do that. But I think you literally have to be frame perfect with Falco. And that's just because his vertical acceleration, like the next frame, he goes so high. But if you do the shine, it's way easier to be smooth. Oops. So you can imagine like if can you stand on the side plat? So do that sort of thing.
And it extends your combo.
Mhm.
Okay, see, like when I try to practice it, it looks great. Like I can go like that, see? But like sometimes I mess it up, see?
Yeah, I would say like you want to be aware of like the positioning of your shine. So like, because if the goal is to hit me, then your shine needs to hit my legs at
Yeah, it
least,
has
right?
to be here. Like right there, or like right here.
So
Like
you want to aim the
platform.
like top of your head for my feet. Even lower. You don't have to like get super low, but I'd say like your body like halfway through the platform is like generally where you want to be. So like, oh, let me try to pause. So like right there, around there is the sweet spot.
Like right. Like right there.
Yeah,
right
that was good enough. That one was perfect.
Nice. All right, so basically just practice. Yeah, I think I have a bad habit where I don't see progress like after a week or like too much progress, and I'll be like, man, I'm just not getting better.
Yeah, no, I feel ya.
What about here when you're going from this, like after you do it, then what? Like, how do you go to this, do the same thing on this platform? Because I've been struggling. Like, do I just like short hop it, or like do I just fall?
Yeah, it's actually just awkward. Sometimes you have to do the like run off waveland.
How's that? What is that?
So you're running off and then double jump wave landing.
Okay. You double jump that? Oh, like that. Yeah, I get it. Like that.
Yeah, so to line it up, so like at the peak of your jump, where you like your momentum stops, that's going to be the easiest time to wave land because you're not moving up and down a whole bunch, right? So you actually want to like fast haul after you run off. So if you like drop down to here, then it's very easy to time the wave dash or the wave land. You can do it either way. So like even if you jump right away, you can still get the waveland smoothly, but it's going to be more difficult.
I wanna make sure I get good habits though. Like, you know what I mean? Like if whatever's the easiest way, I wanna get that like the most consistent. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's why I was mentioning it. I think it's easier to like aim for the peak of your double jump when you're wave landing to the top plat, as opposed to like trying to do this like a super precise input.
All right, that makes sense. See, no one tells you these things.
Yeah.
Kind of just have to figure it out. Another thing, I used to, you're gonna laugh, but I used to wave dash with my control stick.
Yeah, I mean, a surprising number of players used to do that or still do it. Like Lod and Rishi both do that. I don't know if you know many top
Do they
players.
play Falco or like Fox?
No, they don't.
I feel like
do you know Lovage?
Lovage?
The Fox player?
I feel like I've heard of his name.
Hold on, let me link a video of his. He was like one of the most technical players back in the day, and he uses control stick, which is crazy. I don't know if he uses it for wave dash though.
Like for me, that's a habit I'm really trying to break. So I'm trying to just
you definitely want to just
not do it.
like just save yourself the suffering.
Because it seemed great in the beginning. Like, look, I'm doing it right now. Like, it seems consistent enough. But in an actual game, sometimes I end up going like this. Like
I can even do it with like I don't even practice it that way, and I can like somewhat do it. Because like sometimes you're shining and you actually, if you're holding it, then it helps to be able to do it. But that's the only time you really need to.
Yeah, like I be shining and like. See, this is with the control stick. Like, I'm so used to it. Because I used to do it on the controller.
Yeah. Are you using Y now?
Now I use Y. I like
Yeah,
Y.
yeah. Y is better than X. So
Alright. I thought X was better, and I thought I fucked up again, but
no.
I still have laser with Y. So.
I linked you some inspiration. Let me find a. I don't know if you've seen Perfect Dark.
Let me see this.
So yeah, the person playing Falco is Lovage, and he uses control stick for jumping, which is just insane. But I still wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
And then
It
the
seems like
other
it
one is just like some crazy tech skill for inspiration.
Wow. And these are like old videos, so like it makes you put perspective on how
Yeah,
kind of behind I
exactly.
am.
Perfect Dark is freaking a decade old. That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Want to play a couple? Then I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, sure. I'll
Gotta
play
get
like.
something to eat.
Yeah. I don't want to. It's supposed to be half an hour, so I didn't want to waste too much
Oh
of your
no,
time.
you're good.
Yeah. Alright, well, we can play like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, sure.
Versus
I won't hold back.
ready,
I know. Don't worry.
The cheese.
I noticed with a lot of better players, their punish game is insane.
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
biggest
punish game is
difference.
just so important. That's like a huge part of tech skill being important. It's just being able to punish.
Like I don't feel like I get away with anything, especially off ledge.
Let's go.
Oh,
No!
no!
choose your favorite versus
Thought I got one.
Falco. Ready,
If your friend decides to play net play, you can just tell them, "Oh, my code is Bone0. Go ahead and play me." So yeah, I've improved.
And you're like, no, wait,
I did that for someone's birthday. That was one of the videos I recorded. Was, they bought their friend a lesson, and
That's sick.
they just had me whoop all of them.
Definitely might just have to. Oh, fuck. And now when you DI, is this the same thing as like Smash 4?
No, it's actually different.
Okay, that's probably why I'm messing up. It feels like I'm not DIing sometimes.
Yeah, I can see if I have any articles explaining it. 'Cause it's kind of unintuitive.
Thank you. You still attend tournaments?
Yep. I went to a few Xanadu's a couple weeks ago. I only really
saw
have
you
one
got
near
first,
me.
Right? And you got first?
Wait, what'd you say?
You got first or something, right? I was looking at your
I
previous
got second at the last one I went to, but the like 3 before that I won. There's not a ton of good players in my area. I mean, I guess there are in like, if you count Virginia, but Virginia's too far for people to come on a weekday.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. Don't know what I was doing there. Yeah, and I don't know how you felt after your first game at a local. Man, my heart was pumping like crazy. I don't know why.
Let me think. I actually don't even remember. I think I wasn't that nervous because I felt like I was better than the person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had like some weird. I wasn't arrogant, but it was funny. My very first like game at a tournament, I played the TO, and I just beat him in like my first friendly ever, just on like raw tech skill. Like no idea what I'm doing, but it was just technical Falco in 2010. So like you could just laser laser into aerial first people, and they would like have no idea what to do.
Damn. You're like M2K. He just had the crazy tech skill. Yeah.
Just the grind of the tech skill. But now,
Well, it was nice to meet you, man.
What'd you say?
I said it was really nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, I had a fun time teaching you.
Yep. Thanks,
But
man.
yeah,
Appreciate
like I said, if you have any
learned a lot.
questions at all, hit me up.